Hello fellow pilgrims, it's Digger Dave Beeler. Time for another installment showing some of our collections, our favorite things that we've dug and accumulated over the years. So I don't remember what number this is, maybe, I don't know, three or four, I'm not sure, but anyway, it's from another one of our cabinets, and we'll get into this. We've been busy and digging and doing different things, and Shelly's working today, or I'd have her in here. But anyway, just showing a few more of our favorite things that we've dug. And Paul and I dug this bottle many years ago in St. Louis from a Pownell Privy, and it's a nice cobalt blue Professor William Robertson's hair, it says on one side, and Renewer on the other side here. And it's not Pownell, but we dug it with Pownell bottles from 1850s, early 60s outhouse in St. Louis. And we actually dug two of these. I have another one of these someplace. This one's damaged up here on the shoulder, but it's a really rare bottle. And when I did some research on that, it doesn't say St. Louis, but that's where it's from. And this Professor William Robertson, I found an advertisement from the 1860s, and he was a black barber. I think in the newspaper or the directory it says colored barber or Negro barber, whichever it was back in those days. But anyway, I just thought that was really interesting, that nice old hair bottle from St. Louis in cobalt blue. This is an ink bottle, LB and Company, and on the other side it says Boston. And it's just a cool looking ink bottle, almost semi cabin shape. Not sure what company that is. I should have looked it up or something, but anyway, we've got a lot of ink bottles just scattered around. I always liked inks. Dug that one out of an 1870s, 80s pit. This is a real pretty Boston and Sandwich glass cobalt cologne bottle. That original stopper there, ground stopper. These are hard to find, and it's really nice polished bottom there. Has a little gold leaf work there on it. So, nice old bottle, probably from 1850s, that period, mid-1800s. This was a Powell's, it just says Powell's Liniment, nice old Pownell medicine bottle. And we dug that one here in Illinois, and it's an Illinois bottle. It's not listed in the Illinois bottle book, but I found advertisements for Powell's American Liniment. It's from Lawrenceville, Illinois, which is down in southern Illinois. Not north of Mount Carmel. I think it's Lawrence County. But anyway, it's just west of Vincennes, Indiana, right down there on the Illinois line. So that's a real scarce bottle. This is a real common bottle, Mexican Mustang Liniment. Just a Pownell liniment. It's kind of a nice dark aqua color. I just liked it. It's a real common bottle though. Dig a lot of them. Of course, we don't dig a lot of Pownells anymore anywhere, but back in the day when we were digging a lot of Pownell stuff, we dug quite a few of these. Comes in three sizes. This is a small size, which you normally see. This is a nice old cologne bottle. Pownell cologne. Got like a little sunken shield shaped panel on one side and kind of like a harp here on the other with nice vines and nice designs on it. 1840s bottle. The Pownell sticks out a little bit, so I hate to set it there, so I think I'm going to set it down. I don't want that thing falling over and breaking. Another Pownell medicine, a G.W. Davis inflammatory extirpator and cleanser. It's embossed, and this one's nice because it has the original label. It's black, and I can't hardly read it, but anyway, it's the original label. It's got a rolled lip. Open Pownell. Just a great name on that. Those old Pownell medicines back before 1860 had some wonderful names, didn't they? I really like them. I can't afford the colored ones. This is a beautiful cologne bottle, perfume. It's got a glass label on the front with a colorful picture of a woman or girl there, and just real pretty cranberry glass. Got the original stopper there, painted gold. So it's one of our cologne bottles, just like it. Got them kind of scattered around too to bring some color, some variety in there. A pair of early Keen Sunburst flasks, a little half-pint one here. Got the corrugated rib sides, pommel on the bottom there. Real pretty. These were made in like 1820s. They're very early. We don't dig those. I didn't dig either one of these. These come from a Norman Heckler auction, but I was glad to get them. That's the same thing, only the pint size. That's a little different in the shoulders there, but you know, nice old Sunburst flasks. This is a pretty scarce Ponel medicine. Got open Ponel. Chronothermal Remedy Nerve Tonic out of New York, and it's clear. You don't see a lot of clear Ponel medicines. I mean, there are some, but that one's kind of nice. Chronothermal Remedy. I used to have a little collection of Ponel remedies. Probably still got them, but they're just scattered. Don't have them organized. Here's a milk glass early cologne bottle. It's Ponel. Little hand painted flowers on it. Nice applied ring there on the shoulder and a crude flared ring lip there. It's probably 1850s. The old Ponel hair bottle. Painted this one. Phelan's Chemical Hair Invigorator. It's old. Here's a Wallace's Tonic Stomach Bitters. That's out of Chicago. George Powell and Company, Chicago. It's a late 60s, early 70s bottle, and not a real rare bottle. We've dug several of them here in Illinois. It's just a nice one from Chicago. Decided to keep that one. And a real pretty Dr. Hostetter Stomach Bitters. Kind of a yellow-green color, L&W glass mark on the bottom. I got a little color run of them Hostetters. This is what you normally see in the Hostetter, so you can see the contrast in the color, real pretty. This is a Clark's Sherry Wine Bitters, and it's nice because it does have the original label on the back. You don't see them very often. It's a smooth base bottle, but it's 1860s. But this is kind of nice to me personally because it's got the Gardner Collection sticker on there. When it was sold back many years ago, and there's his number from his collection. It's even got the little proprietary stamp on there, so that was kind of nice. And you can always tell the Gardner bottles, they're usually worth a little bit more because of the provenance of being in Charlie Gardner's collection. And this is one of my favorite medicine bottles I've ever dug. Finally dug a good one in Springfield several years ago. Cobalt Swift Syphilitic Specific, and SSS it was later called. This is one of the earlier variants. It's not Ponel, but it's 1870s. Dug it out of a 70s hole in Springfield. Swift Syphilitic Specific. Just a great looking bottle, you know, in cobalt, big size. They've become quite valuable now, worth several $100s. And another great big medicine, the Great Shoshani's Remedy of Dr. Josephus. Isn't that a great name? And again, it's not Ponel, but it's close to it. It's probably a 60s bottle, early 70s. Just like the big size of that. Shoshani's Remedy. A lot of Indian medicines in those days. Real popular with people. Another early Ponel cologne bottle. Almost like harp shape on the front. It resembles strings. And on the back, it's got the original label. And it's got a woman playing a lute or a early type of a guitar. It says cologne down here at the bottom. So, isn't that cool? Original label. That's open Ponel. 1840s or 1850s. And that's what they were like. Didn't have much on the labels. Didn't advertise a lot of stuff. Sometimes they just say Eau de Cologne, you know, or cologne on them. But they come in a lot of shapes. I like the different cologne bottles. Here's a pair of little mini lamps. We dug this one. It don't have the collar and everything on it, but this one does. I did not dig this one, but it's real nice. Got a star embossed on it and fern type pattern. But that's the kind of setup that they had on there. You can see the Onstead burner. Just grabbed the little white glass chimney. Alright. And just kind of cute little miniature lamps. I kind of like those. And there's a little whiskey flask shaped like a whisk broom. It says dust remover. Still got the cork. Had this stuff in it. It's kind of solidified down in there. Had a little bit of liquid, but it's kind of dried up. But yeah, whiskey flask, dust remover. There was a lot of different figural whiskey flasks in the 1890s, shaped like all kinds of things. But alright, well, that's one group. I'll bring up another little group here, and we'll keep on going. And here's another group of bottles out of our favorite cabinets. And start off up here on the top, little cute Pownell medicine called Oleum Baumscheide. I believe it's out of Cleveland, Ohio. But just a crude little bottle. Pownell. It's got a rolled over lip there, real gnarly. Just a great looking little bottle, Oleum Baumscheide. Just thought it was cool. And then I remember digging that a few years ago. Couldn't sell it. I think I was trying to sell that for like $30 or something. Nobody wanted to buy it. I thought, no, I'm just going to keep it. And that's what I do a lot. But this one actually is one of the bottles. We dug this in East St. Louis, of all places. It's kind of cool, but it was a nice older, cobalt little schoolhouse ink with a plied lip. But it was one of the holes down in Illinois town. You used to dig down there once in a while. Now you're taking your life into your hands. You try to dig down in that area. People are shot down there and all kinds of crazy stuff. But anyway, we dug some neat old stuff right down in there. But that's where that came out. This I didn't dig. This was a cool, cute little nipper, Naughty Nelly, they call them, or I call them anyway. And it actually, you could fill that with water or whiskey, whichever the case may be, and put the cork in there. And when somebody would come out and pull the cork out of there, it would squirt water or whiskey out of her front there, her breast. So it actually works. I actually tried it, so that was pretty cool. Call that a little naughty nipper. Guess you might call them. They come in various, forms. This is just a label-only 1870s medicine bottle, but it's neat. It's Dr. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to get my magnifying glass here to see what it is. I forgot what it was. Dr. T.W. Woods Blackberry Carminative. Yeah, I forget. Now my eyes can't focus on stuff. But it's from McGregor, Iowa. An infallible remedy. Now on the back, it's got the label and says more what it's good for. So, but yeah, that was just an odd one. I just like sometimes the old labeled medicines. This is a common bottle. Dig these a lot down south. Sample Dr. Thatcher's liver and blood syrup from Chattanooga, Tennessee. But it's a pretty color, kind of a greenish citron green. Got some yellow in it. Dr. Thatcher's. They usually just come in amber. So that was just kind of nice. I decided to keep that one. This is it's not a real rare bottle, but this particular one is. It's variant. This one says Farrell's Arabian Liniment, and most of them will say HG Farrell's or WB Farrell's. And as far as I know, this is the only one I ever remember that just says Farrell's without the initials. It says Arabian Liniment Peoria. So it is from probably Hiram, which was one of the brothers. Him and his brother William originated this Arabian Liniment back in the late 1840s, I believe it was, out of Peoria, and they came to strong disagreements over something, and William parted ways. He went to Chicago, and he has Pownell medicines, which we've got 2 or 3 of them, and Hiram kept his original store there in Peoria. But you can read about it in the early newspapers where they were basically warning of the base counterfeits of their Farrell's Arabian Liniment, and both of them claimed to be the true originator. So I guess we'll never know, but there's been articles written about that. But that's a rare bottle. It just says Farrell's without initials on it. This is a cute little bottle, 3-sided, Simmons Hardware Company from St. Louis, triple X oil, and it's got the labels on it, which is nice. One of the only ones I ever seen with the original label complete like that. It's even got the cork and the puller. But Simmons Hardware Company, they made Keen Cutter products. This one don't say King Cutter, but that's who made King Cutter, was Simmons Hardware. So that's an interesting little bottle there. I like St. Louis bottles. They don't have to be anything particular. This is a real beautiful bottle. One of my favorite bottled sodas. It's got an eagle on it and the flags and a Union shield there. They call this a Charleston Eagle, and it has no name on the back of it. It's a nice iron bottle, but just a pretty cobalt blue color with the nice graphics of the eagle and the rays and the flags. And that was before South Carolina, interestingly enough, was the first state to secede from the Union. That's a Union shield, and those are American flags. So you got to remember, this bottle dates from the 1850s, and South Carolina seceded from the Union in 1861. And the first battle, actually the Civil War, Fort Sumter, was there in Charleston Harbor, where this bottle is from. So it's kind of interesting little background there, how things changed. So early flask. This is a 1840s flask. It's a Rough and Ready, who was Zachary Taylor, became president. And the other side, Major Ringgold, one of his commanders during the Mexican War in the 1840s. It's a nice open bottle flask. Rough and Ready, Major Ringgold. And we don't dig those. This one was not dug, but I like some of them early flasks. I've traded for them. This one we dug. You can see how crooked it is. This is one of my favorites, early black glass. Dug that in a pit where, call them a black glass hole, where it's all black glass. You usually never hit anything whole in them, but this was one of the ones that didn't get away. You always hear the fish stories about the ones that got away. Well, that one didn't. I mean, it's hazy and stuff, but I just like it. Just crude and gnarly, and look how it leans to one side. It's got the early style of collar, so it's probably, you know, late 1700s. That's an early bottle. So dug outside the French Quarter in New Orleans. A couple nice kind of greenish cathedral pepper sauce bottles. One's a square, one's six-sided. Nice open bottles on those. I just kind of like some of the old sauce bottles. They're pretty. Here's another group of three early cologne bottles, open bottled. Again, that little ball neck on that one. It's got pretty flowers on it, ferns or flowers on the side. Open bottle. This one, similar. It's got like a basket there or something. Got a fern growing out of it, and that ball neck. Got ferns growing on the side. Nice open bottle. And this one's real unusual. It's not only is it large, but it's clear, which you don't see near as many of those. But it's got the ferns on it and the blank panel on the back and snapped off panel. That one's early. That's probably 1840s. These other ones are probably 40s or 50s maybe. This is just a cool bottle. It's a free blown. There's no mold seams. It wasn't blown in a mold. It's got a little panel on it. But just odd shaped bottle with a neat gnarly lip on there, big plied lip. It's got a lot of bubbles in it. I just like it. I like those early crude free blown bottles. So that was just kind of a nice one. Another cobalt soda. It's a J&A Dearborn, New York, mineral waters. Nice old cobalt paneled soda. Not particularly rare, but they're pretty desirable now. There's one I picked up off of eBay. I was really glad to get. It's like a barrel shaped bottle, and I've actually dug a couple of these. Didn't know what they were, and this one's got the original labels, and it says American Wild Cherry Bitters, Met and Can Distilling Company, St. Louis. It's got the big eagle and the Union shield, and on the back it's got another label. It tells what it was for. You know, all the different applications of that. So anyway, I was really proud to get that one. That was pretty cool. One of the only paneled cures I probably have in our collection. This is a Rhodes. It says on one side Rhodes, and on the other side it says Fever and Ague Cure. Nice open panel, but Some of them will say antidote to malaria. One's a little better ones will say antidote to malaria on there also. And there's a little trio of Hanbury Smith's bottles. Hanbury Smith Vichy water. And both of these are Kissingen water, Hanbury Smith. Just a little different shade of green. So got those scattered around. I need to get all them together and sell the ones that I don't really need. Like some of these I don't really need to keep, just little minor color variations. So be prepared to see some of those in our eBay store. Digger Dave's Bottles and Treasures. I'll put a plug in for it. Shameless advertising here. Nice old Dr. J. Townsend sarsaparilla. It's from New York. Nice teal colored one there. 1860 probably. Civil War period. Just like the colors on those. And I'll finish up here just a few things. This is probably the most common pot lid that you dig, at least in our area here in the Midwest. And it has that unique design on them, that dendritic, like false marble pattern. Oriental toothpaste for cleansing, beautifying, and preserving the teeth and gums. Prepared by Jewsbury and Brown. And that's from Manchester. It's English. But they were sure marketed over here. Had the toothpaste in there and they dipped their toothbrush in it. Here was another one, don't have the base to it. But it was a Mandan for the cure and prevention of chapped hands. And from Exbazine, successor to E. Russell from Philadelphia. That's a nice one. And this is probably the hardest one to find. This is a big, tall, big, long pot lid. And it's from the Centennial Exposition in Philadelphia there. So, anyway, it's dated 1876. And just a couple more. There's a little clear tea kettle ink, just plain, no name on it, but just kind of nice. And an early inkwell there, Rockingham. I just put a feather in there, quill pen, an old quill pen inkwell, paneled. No name on it or anything, but it's got the old brown Rockingham drizzled glaze. So yeah, probably 1840s, maybe 30s. But alright, well, that's about it for now. I have some more, and we'll see. I don't know how long this is going to be, so I may have some more and I may not, but alright, stay with me. And one last group of bottles for today. Don't want to wear out your patience here, so anyway, we'll throw a few more things out of that cabinet there. Even though this is not a bottle, it's one of my favorite things that we got here. It's a Franklin's Whiskey House, Cairo, Illinois jug, and these were real popular in the 1890s, and they were given out usually by saloons. In this case, it was Franklin's Whiskey House there in Cairo. It's kind of neat because it's streaked under the glaze. It was made like that, where it kind of ran down. A nice applied handle, but anyhow, I've got a little collection of these mini jugs dug here in Illinois. And sold quite a few of them years ago, but I've been keeping them for about 30 years, so I've got quite a few of them. Here's an odd little early cologne bottle, probably from 1840s. Real nice design there, like wasted. And it's got a couple labels on it, which I believe were applied later. But it's a nice old panel cologne with a flared lip. And it's got the apothecary's name there on that side, and advertising some kind of perfume or something there, but that's an earlier bottle. That's a really old bottle, so I don't know, it could be original labels on it, but anyway. And this is one of the better colored Lion's powder bottles that Paul and I have dug. And it's a nice open panel, you can see on the bottom, but it's a real pretty like a raspberry puce color. It's Lion's powder, B&P New York for Barnes and Park. Those were the proprietors of Lion's Powder, and Lion's Powder was a bug poison bottle, like for roaches and insects, bed bugs. So when you see those, you see it says powder. That's what that was, but real pretty color, and that's basically what puce is right there, if you wondered. Yeah, a big pint Masonic flask. We call these Masonics. It's got like a Masonic emblems there. with the all-seeing eye and the square and the, you know, around on the Bible there, triangle there. You got the arches and the sun. You got stars and even got crossbones there. The pavement. So pretty cool bottle. These were made in Keene, New Hampshire. This one's actually marked Keene or KCCNC. They don't have the little bars there in the E's, but that's what that is. That's a early Keene, New Hampshire flask, open ponnell. Got a little bit of goop on the bottom there because it's ponnell pushed up in there, made the bottom kind of crooked, but it's a real pretty olive amber color. And these date from like the 1830s. Real nice old bottle. I'm going to set that one down only because I don't want it to fall. It's a little bit awkward there. There's a Civil War period USA Hospital Department, United States Army. It's just an aqua, smaller size. Nice half circle key mold, hinge mold seam, applied lip. And we dug that one out of a 1860s privy. Come in a lot of different colors. And this is one of my favorite flasks. It's a Lafayette Coventry, Connecticut on the front. On the back it's called that a Liberty cap on a pole with the stars. S and S stands for Stebbins and Stebbins, who are proprietors, owners of the Coventry Glass Works in the 1815-1820s period. This flask was blown approximately 1825, and more than likely in commemoration of the General Lafayette's visit to the United States. He was from France, and he fought with our troops during the Revolutionary War. So Lafayette was a hero, well liked in this country. He actually even came here to Illinois. There were an incident where he came to old Shawneetown, which was kind of stepping off point going into the wilderness back in 1825. But it was a bustling place there. So it's almost a ghost town now. It had been flooded out. But Lafayette, he was a popular guy. And that's a little half pint flask from 1825. Beautiful little historical flask. Another flask, General George Washington, another very favorite character in our nation's history, and all these people that's wanting to rewrite history and run these people down. You know, I don't have much use for it, man. I'm a patriot at heart, and I love our country, and George Washington was our hero. We probably wouldn't be independent if it wasn't for George Washington. So that flask there was blown to commemorate him, probably 1830s. Nice corrugated sides there. And there's just a group of Boston and Sandwich glass cologne bottles, toilet water bottles, whatever you call them, and just different colors. We have several other ones of those in another cabinet, but these are the ones that were I just put right there. And there's an opaque white one, and you can see violet colored and cobalt, and it's the amethyst, puce amethyst color. But those are all real nice from 1860s, real popular in that period. And here's a cute little stoneware bottle dug from 1840s, and all it says on it is pop. Just got pop incised into the shoulder. But isn't that something? Look at that, just hand size, fit right in your hand. Old brown hand thrown stoneware. Might have been a St. Louis bottle. So isn't that something? Dug in St. Louis, and we dug a lot of stoneware bottles back in the day from the 1840s. So that's an early one, but just cute. I hung on to that one because it said pop. And another odd stoneware whiskey flask, an eagle with flags on it. It's kind of a Rockingham glaze there, and it's got plants on the other side. Real nice old flask from 1840s, 1850s. Rockingham glaze. And another Coventry flask. Refer to this as a Coventry double eagle. It's a little half pint open ponnell. It's got an eagle on both sides, and it's a real pretty olive color. And those were also made at the Coventry Glass Works, 1820s or 30s. There's a Saratoga seltzer water. It says around the shoulder. And it's a little teal colored bottle. Kind of an odd shape for a Saratoga or mineral water bottle is a seltzer water. A little different shape there. Here's a medicine bottle. See if I can read it here. Liebig's Dispensary for Diseases of Men, 400 Geary Street, San Francisco, California. So that one was for a specific, as they called this, diseases of men. Well, for wayward men, I suppose. But that's a fairly scarce bottle. I kind of like that one. Probably from 1880. Liebig's Dispensary for Diseases of Men. This is a St. Louis bitters bottle. Nibol kidney and liver bitters. Now on the other side, it's similar to a Lashes and some of the other bitters. The best tonic, laxative, and blood purifier. And the reason I know that's St. Louis because I've done a lot of research. But right next to it, I've got a Nibol. It's a tonic laxative, and you can see down there it's Nibol Manufacturing Company, St. Louis. And it is embossed, but not the way the other one is. It says Nibol Manufacturing Company on one of the side panels, and it's got the other label, Nibol Tonic Laxative for headaches and so on. So anyway, it's an old hand-blown bottle, but a pair of Nibol bottles from St. Louis. Here's another Ponel medicine. This is an iron Ponel, Dr. Curtis's Inhaling Hygiene Vapor from New York. I just like the name on that one. I hung on to that one. Inhaling Hygiene Vapor. Isn't that cool? So, nice old iron Ponel medicine from 1850s. A pair of Louisville Double Eagle flasks. These are little pint flasks. And they got the eagles on both sides. Rib corrugated sides. And this one's got a little green in it here. That was just a normal aqua one. Those are from the 1840s, popular here in the Midwest. Alright, and then just a few other little things. There's a little scent bottle shaped like a leaf. They're cute, like from mid-1800s there. Carry that around, and women a lot of times would carry those in their purse or their pocket. You know, they feel like they were going to faint. They had corsets back in those days that squeezed the life out of them practically. So they had smelling salts or ammonia or something sometimes in these. Plus they didn't take baths very often, so that would cover it up. And there's a pair of Harden's hand grenade fire extinguisher bottles. Still got the stuff in them. This one's got on the top, you can see the seal, and it says, got to get out my magnifying glass again here, Semper something. It's not. No, it's Semper something, always faithful, I guess. It shows a picture of the bottle. And then there's the small one. This small size is hard to find. And it gives the directions there, how it's to be broken and thrown into the flames. It's from Chicago. And it's nicely embossed, Harden's hand grenade fire extinguisher. Got the patent dates on there and it's sealed. Alright, and then just a couple scroll flasks, got a little aqua scroll flask there, half pint, and an amber pint. Got a little Zanesville aqua swirl there, open bottle, and last not least, a little Lofty's Salvatorium. And I didn't ever know what that was, and got this one with a label, and it says it's a hair restorer. It's for the hair. It's from H.E. Lofty from Syracuse, New York. If anybody's wondering where the Lofty's Salvatorium's from. Probably 1890s bottle. So, alright, that's about it for now. We'll come back, maybe show some more. We got a couple digs coming up. So thanks for staying with us. We appreciate you watching. We hope that everybody's having a good summer. As the kids go back to school, we're praying for them and for our country. And we'll see you in the next video.